Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Awaken Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And if you're new to me, new to my channel, new to my show on YouTube, please do subscribe so you can take advantage of all the current shows, all the previous shows, all the shows coming up. There's like 500 and something shows there. It is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring to you these wonderful speakers who are sharing their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their processes, their mini readings, their healings, channelings, etc., so that we can all thrive, so that we can all awaken to happiness now. And today, my dear friend Laurie Moore is back with us, and we're going to be talking about how animals guide humans. And so, some of what we're going to talk about today are how animals are role models. Animals work through life issues side by side with us. Animals choose roles to help us be happy and evolve. And animals' needs are, I'm not even sure what that says, but there's a deep attention and meticulous care in every way that they help us, support us, and work with us, right? And so, I mean, we all know, for those of you who know me, I love my Neo, and he's just like, I just love him, and he's always there with me, especially when I'm not feeling well. But he's, I made I made the contract that no, he's not going to take on my stuff because I've heard that animals tend to take on stuff of their family members, humans, right? And I'm like, no, because it's like, no, 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 I do not want you to. And that's just my selfishness because uh, I cannot see him suffering or in pain or like ill or like anything. I just can't see him that way. So it's like, nope, I can handle my stuff, but I love his joy and his energy. And, he keeps me grounded, very grounded, and also full of joy. Right. So if you don't know Laurie, and she's been with us many times, and she was back with us last month, or like last season, sorry. She is a human and animal communication reader, is also a doctor of expressive psychology, lmft, hypnotherapist, and somatic and emdr practitioner. She was a undergraduate psych teacher at San Fran State University, Chico State, and Johnson State College. She's the author of The Cat's Reincarnation, Transformative Encounters with Animals, and Healing and Awakening the Heart, Animal Wisdom for Humans, and numerous other books. She's appeared on many shows, like this one, John Burgos, Lauren Galey, news agencies as well, everywhere. And she's taught seminars around the world, founded and ran the Miracle Ground and Love Climate Spiritual Satsangs and seminars. She's written columns for several outlets as well. So she's been a very, very busy woman, doing so much for our community, doing so much for our animals. And so I'm so glad that she's back here with us today. So please join me in welcoming Laurie back to the show. Laurie, welcome.
Yay, thank you. Thank you so much for the beautiful space. You just keep holding and holding. It's just and expanding it always, every time. I love it. So happy to be here today. And what I'm feeling is really up in the world to talk about that the animals are so masterful with. And we're here in our practices really is related to how do we navigate today? Everything's changing. Everything's always a surprise. Nothing's predictable. It's a massive cleanse out. So whatever is not resolved in the emotional, mental, spiritual, or physical plane is coming through to be reharmonized, to be healed. When that happens, there can be dramatic, abrupt challenges. There can also be smooth, gradual shifts, but we're all in a kind of change that does not allow the old systems to work. So everyone is kind of like, what is going on? So the most important thing each moment is to start with your intention. And an intention is way beyond the mental plane. It's so deep inside. So, like right now, my intention is to be here to receive what is needed to share. So I'm opening myself up to the heavens, to all the planes, to all the animals, to all the angels who have, as a group, as a oneness, something to share, to uplift those who are present. So knowing what your intention is, and it might just be you're tired and you need a nice environment to rest. You know, there's nothing demanded of you. It might be you have a very deep intention for yourself today. And when you woke up, you knew that was your intention. But an intention will always be stronger than a map, the details, the method through which it's carried out. If your intention is in resonant with the divine light, if you and the divine light are working together, if you're surrendered to the divine light, then you'll know your intention and you'll rely on the divine light, whatever word you want to call for the divine light. Goddess, God, whatever works for you, divine father, divine mother, divine light. The intention is what's most important. And so in the moment, these days, to just have an intention like playfulness right now, or joy, or something very purposeful for what you agreed to do, like I had just spoken a few minutes ago. Just knowing it, it brings everything back into resonance, because there are all kinds of energies competing right now for your attention. Now, some of them are coming through the light, through the angels, through the masters, through the master of yourself, and some are coming through the opposite. There's two very strong polar forces, and they're very strong right now. So those coming through the opposite are here to destroy, to deceive, to fool, to betray, to divide. And so the more we're strengthening our intentions in the light and knowing what they are, that other stuff can't get in. It can only get in when we're nervous, we're afraid, we're unsure, we're uncertain. We have a weakness in our body. We have an emotional place that we dwell that's not positive. Now, what's really important that the animals understand and that we can learn from them is this is nothing to do with judgment. Everything I just said was just a fact. When we're in any of those states, which we will get into because we live in polarity and that's the game on Earth, we're not doing anything wrong. All we're doing is giving ourselves an opportunity to use the information. Oh, I'm in a state that's with that other force that, whatever you want to call it, is disruptive, is divisive, is separate. And it's a reminder, it's a contrast experience that now I can choose to reset my intention to joy, to peace, to just the absolute openness to the light. And the animals do that all the time. You'll see them constantly. They're always set to their intention. And some people say, oh, the animals just don't think about it. They don't have any other choices. Well, watch them. They're so purposeful. I mean, they got to these high states somehow. These are profound souls. And so they're choosing over and over to be with their intention, and they're choosing, and I'm speaking a lot right now about Baji and Bala, the cats I live with, and I've worked with many master animals. So I know there's other animals that are just, maybe they're not as intentional, but generally animals are very purposeful, know their purpose, and they align with it. And humans often forget. We have other options. We have many options to not align with our soul, but those are all very mental. But mental creates all kinds of realities on this planet. There's a lot of chaos going on right now. So like the animals, we have the option to go back to our intention at all times. All we have to do is know, what's my intention now? As long as that's from your heart and your soul, and it's to the divine light, from the divine light, bingo, you're back in it. And it's manifesting all kinds of realities that will be your future later and will change your past now and create what's happening here.
I love that. And I love how you make it sound so simple and so easy, because it is, right? We complicate things because we get in our head, right? And then that's how things can become complicated. One of the things I forgot to mention, Laurie, before we started today was if you do have a question for Laurie, if you'd like to work with Laurie on the call today, you can raise your hand or you can type your question in the chat. I think we like hands raised, but just we'll do either one. But the thing is, like you said, right now, a lot of people don't think that our pets are that aware or that conscious, or that they have any intention other than eating their food and playing, kind of thing. But
Yeah,
right, that's not true though, right?
not at all true. I mean, first of all, for example, in Mayan culture, where, some cultures believe in hierarchies where, you work your way up to being human. I don't believe in that. And some culture, like the Mayan culture, believes that if you get to a evolved enough state as a human, you can get to being an animal and next to a plant. I mean, the plants, if you talk to them, they're the ultimate Buddhas. They're so in the here now. And then ultimately a star. Now, I don't really get into any of that myself. I just feel like here we are, each being what we're being, and it's all loved, and it's all coming from love. So what I can say about the animals is, the animals are perfectly aware of their purpose, their humans' purpose, their humans' thoughts, their humans' feelings. Many of them work in such a way to help harmonize the community. They're just more conscious than us. They're more aware. They're vibrating. You know, people are all about vibrating more highly. Well, go out in your garden and talk to your animal. In order to do that, your vibration immediately has to raise, because you can't be in a mental plane that's not aligned with the higher vibrations if you want to be in conversation with nature or animals. And conversation with nature and animals is like with the angels. It's not a mental back and forth. It's a profound knowing through the heart and soul, and a resonance of understanding life.
And you're right, because when I am out in nature, conversing with nature, it's a different frequency, and it's not something that I'm doing from my mind. It's something that is happening from my heart and from my soul.
Yes.
And I find that when I do that, I also receive so much information and so much guidance that when I'm at home doing my other 3D stuff, I get nothing, right? But when I'm out in nature, talking with the universe, it's just so profound what's possible and what's available. And it's so funny. Every time for the past 10-15 years, whenever I would do a reading or have a reading with somebody for myself, they would always say, you should connect with nature, you should be out in nature. And it took me a long time to understand it, right? Because here I'm in a cold climate. It's like, I'm not going out in the winter. What are you talking about? But when I was in Europe, it was a constant thing. It was like I was always connecting to nature and to the trees, and of course to my pets, right? Neo and Timmy. And it was like, just there's so much support there that's available for us.
Yes, there's so much support. I was talking to you before the show about business working, because I do some business consultation. I've learned a lot about the animals from that. And with all due respect to all the many business techniques that are out there, and that works great for some people, but I live a very simple life. I make sure I hike in nature every day. I do yoga or gym or whatever each day. I'm cooking fresh food, and in my garden, my business just works. It works. And I have been out there a lot, but what I noticed over the years was whenever I would get into mindset, like, I've got to grow the business, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, it was this other kind of energy. And then it would be like, oh, well, how can I grow the business with energy that's not the energy the business is here to serve? It's two different energies. So now I'm incongruent. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I had to do it at times. But what I'm saying is, it's very lovely when you go into faith and trust and you start building your creation, whether it's your business or your dancing, your art, your music, whatever it is. I do a lot of that. Whatever you're building, if you can stay in resonance with heaven on earth, where the animals live and where the nature lives, then you feel congruent. I mean, I've definitely gone in and out myself. I've gone into stress. I've gone into all kinds of stuff, and I will again. But each time I go back into, because people think, well, we don't have time for nature. We don't have time for this and that. Well, when I go into nature and I stay in my intentions and my prayer and my love of life and why I was put on the planet, things are always working. There's more than enough business. There's more than enough love. There's health is coming in. And when I'm busy doing all that other stuff, because I've got to increase my health, I've got to, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes it's needed, but for me, it tends to do the opposite. It kind of makes things, and I'm speaking as someone who's gone through so many heavens and hells on earth in every area of life. I've had to be humbled over and over. Anyway, thank you, nature. Thank you, animals. Thank you, angels. Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. And same, like we've all been through different things, up and downs, and all that wonderful stuff. And it's all for our highest good, or it's all to help us to know who we are, realize who we are, etc. I believe, but at the same time, it's also so that we can help others, support others on their journey, because we've been through stuff. We've been through the ringer, and through hell and back a couple of times, right? So we can assist others when they're going through stuff as well. But in the end, what it comes down to is, um, it just shows how supported we are and how alone we are not. We're definitely not alone. We're always so supported, but we have to get out of our own comfort zone. We have to get out into nature. We have to converse with our pets, and seeing them as spiritual beings, not just it's an animal. Which, for me, my Neo is my baby. So it's like, I know he's not a baby, but still, he's my baby. But I see him as a multidimensional being, not as a dog, kind of thing. And so once we start to see each other in that way, that we are all multidimensional beings here for a purpose, it starts to make more sense, and we start to treat each other differently than we would have otherwise.
Yes, and what we're speaking of is not going to, this is very important in the world right now, is referring back to the two forces I was talking about. What we're speaking of is not going to the animals in nature to say, here's my idea, I have this I want to create, what do I do? It's not lowering them down to our mental sphere. It's not harnessing them. It's not harnessing women, children, animals, light workers, which is happening a lot on the planet. Let's harness them and vamp their energy. And we have to say, no, no, no. We're talking about when you're in conversation with these holy beings. Nature is very holy. So are the animals. They're full, they're sacred, they're whole, they're in resonance with their creator. If we can acquiesce into that realm in which they are by opening our heart and soul to that, we start to come into what creation really has in store. We come into the grace, the beauty, the wonderfulness, that creation that God, Goddess has for all of us, when we're not trying to run the show through our human mentality, which we all do. We're programmed to be able to do both. It's the game on the planet, and we keep choosing, but each time we choose the human mentality to run the show rather than to be in service to the heart and soul, which when we're in union, we're in conversation with nature and animals, becomes very evident what that means. It's an experience. When we're not doing that, it's kind of a contrast experience to throw us into something that ultimately doesn't work, sometimes in 5 minutes, and unfortunately, or fortunately, sometimes in 500 years, it all comes crashing in. A lot's coming crashing in on the human race right now. And then we remember, oh yeah, maybe there's a better way to do this. So when we're in resonance, when we're in service to animals, when we're in service to nature, or we're just being with animals and we're just being with nature, then our thoughts are different, our feelings are different, our creations are different. And what the highest that the universe has for us to be and offer starts to come through us. And that actually heals our body. It heals our finances. It heals our way of loving. So, we're a human race. We're such beginners at everything. We're such babies. So if we can be humble about it and say, hey, there's some very advanced forms of energy on the planet coming through animals and nature, a lot of good can come of it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are you willing to see that grace that comes through our pets? Are you willing to see that higher vibrational energy that comes through our pets? Or are you just seeing, sometimes I just see my baby as a baby, but you know what I mean? But a lot of times it is, like for me, Neo changes the energy vibration frequency of the space, right? Um, when we're in it. But what I have noticed, is, which is really interesting, is like how my parents now talk to Neo, how they treat him, and it's so cute. It's like, it's so cute. It's like, they've become different people. It's like they've become new parents again, kind of. You know what I mean? It's like it's so wonderful to hear, because sometimes I'm upstairs and they're downstairs and I hear them talking to Neo and stuff, and it's like, oh my God, that's so cute. I just love it. So he's making a difference, not just for me, obviously, but also for them as well. So I'm so grateful for that.
That's wonderful. And like you said, sometimes he's a baby. You know, we all like I always tell my cats, oh, you're my babies. There's three babies. Baji's a baby, Ba's a baby, and Laurie's a baby. You know, like that's all a good thing too. We're all full of wisdom. We're elders, we're babies, whatever age we are, we're everything in between. Yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful role to bring out the joy and love like Neo does with your parents by being a cutie, by being adorable, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just think it's I didn't expect it, so it's so nice to see that, you know.
Yeah,
So for me, I've said this before many times. Neo came into my life, and at a time when I needed help, and he has been like a lifesaver. I say, and brings so much joy, gets me out of my head and into my joy. It's so often, but so they choose to be with us, to help us to evolve as they're also evolving, right? And
yes,
so we're both on a journey together to
yeah,
evolve, right?
absolutely, without a doubt. Everybody's here for evolution. This is the Earth. Polarity is a forceful teacher, and everyone who comes is in a state of rapid evolution or not. But when not, it's not a place where you can just kind of, if you're not, you're creating something pretty intense in the other direction. So then you'll get reminded quickly. It's an opportune place for rapid transformation constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And so we have to also look at that when we are interacting with our pets too, right? With that they're also evolving. They're also here for their own growth and evolution and development. It's not just you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how else to say that, right? But and
Or
so how can we assist them, right? And
yeah, yes.
for
Yes.
for most of us, our pets are, they want to play, they like attention, they like to go for walks or whatever. So it's just like, what can we do to make them happy?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, they're not born for us. We're not born for them. On one level, we are. We're all born for each other, but we're also each here for our own reasons. So if we have animals in our family, we're in service. You know, we find we have the opportunity to find out what do they need, what do they feel, what's their purpose, how can I support that, how can I meet their needs, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really important. Yeah,
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 exactly. So, like that's why a lot of times, I will take Neo for a walk only, even though it might be cold or whatever, but I know how much he loves it. It's like he just loves it. It's his most favorite thing of all is to go for a walk. So it's like, okay, even if I'm not feeling up to it, even if it's cold outside, all right, let's go, right? Because I know how much he loves it and needs it for his stimulation, et cetera, as well, right?
yes, 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 I get it. My cats, I would be a night owl and then I would not be a really early riser, but my cats have insisted that they need fresh air around like 5 a.m. So I'm an early riser now, and it turned out it really has served my vitality. I did it for them, but it came right back on me.
Yeah, exactly. Like we do for them so much just because we care and we love them, right? Like I said, I would do just like whatever it took to make my kids happy. So he's just like another kid for me. So that's we're there to serve for sure.
You know, when
Um,
I talk to
Go ahead.
families of animals, because I get a lot of calls where people, say they have more than one animal and they want to understand what's going on. It's very fascinating. Over the years, I have noted that animals, even though they're aware of their duality situation causing evolution. So sometimes when there are a few animals in a family, I'm getting a call because there's some disrupt as well as some harmonies. Just like when families and couples come in to me for therapy, there's harmonies, but there's also disrupt. Well, this can also happen when there's a whole group of animals living together, or just a few, just 2 or 3. And what I find that's so inspiring is when the animals share about what's happening, they have the universal perspective as well as the personal one. So they know what their role is, but they also know why they're in that role. So if there's conflict, usually with humans, each human is just tending to see more about their role from their perspective. This is what's happening. But the animals will say, okay, so I have to become more patient. So I'm in this circumstance with these other animals where these younger animals are being so playful and jumping on me, and I'm having to set some boundaries, but also become more patient because I agreed to be born and evolve my patience. So I love it how the animals will explain to me with a understanding of the others. So an animal, a cat might tell me, this kitten and this puppy are so playful and active that it's aggravating my system. I'm older, and they are here to create unconditional playfulness. And I'm having to, like I said, develop my patience. So there's just this very beautiful awareness rather than a judgment. The human report would generally be more, these people are aggravating me because blah, 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 so they're wrong. I mean, often the couples will come in and say, just tell the other one to blah, 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 and then everything will be okay. But the animals have such a beautiful understanding that we're all in this circumstance because of something we're expressing or shifting or changing. I love that. I just love that about animals.
Yeah. Even though, like, even though we are here to serve them, their presence is such a gift to us and such a blessing. So I'm just so grateful for my Neo. Oh my God, I can't even explain that. Like, I can't say that enough. Just so grateful. So I know we have some people with their hands raised. Do you want to take some questions,
Yeah.
Laurie?
Yes, and I'm
Awesome.
being guided to say, and what I just spoke about the animals, more and more people are showing up in that framework. More and more people are putting more expansion into their awareness of what it might be like for that person and this person and this person. And I'm so grateful to all of us for doing so.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, Linda, go ahead. You want to unmute?
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Linda.
I want to see you. I have 3 grand dogs, okay? One is a female and the other 2 are male. And the female, I swear to God, she is like a queen or a priestess or something. She is so royal. You almost want to bow to this dog. Her name is Rue. And
Okay.
then we have Benny and we have Atlas and Axel. I'm sorry, Axel. And I want to know what she's thinking because she lives right next door. My granddaughter is her, female counterpart type thing. But I adore that dog. I just want to know what she's thinking and
Oh,
what I can do to serve her better.
oh, thank you. She is very protective, so she does have a quality of viewing the circumstances, viewing the environment, what's going on here, and making sure that she protects her like cone of energy for her and her person, your granddaughter, so that stays in the focus. She is holding a pyramid light around everything so that the work they're doing, which is to help evolve not just themselves, but a planetary energy. It's a very intricate work. And the protectiveness in her requires that she maintain this energy, that nothing is allowed to interrupt it. So it has a very high purpose, very purposeful, and it's a very bright light, but it has to be intricately woven into strands of reality on our planet that have been knotted or changed. So this is very deep focus. This high being is coming from, this queen-like state that you're discussing. So when I ask her, what more does she need? It's physical. She does need some, it's about food actually. Her work requires such focus. She needs the very best of nutrients, and she might be getting great nutrients, but she needs like the best of foods and supplements to make sure the body's in an optimum state at all times, because she wants to keep being able to do this. And as you see with the human race and the animal race, often work gets disturbed when health problems arise. And so a new fine tuning of food and supplements is required, as would be, there is some weakness starting to come in. And so that's really important.
Okay. Does she like me?
Like you?
Does she like me?
Yes, she loves you. And yes. Did you feel, is there a reason you're asking that?
Yeah, because she'll come over and then she gives me her butt because she knows that I give her massages, and then she walks away right away. It's like, okay.
Well,
Like you
you,
said, though, she's focused on Summer.
she's focused on their purpose, and you have a beautiful purpose on this planet, but it's not, your inner workforce isn't doing what she's doing. So
Okay.
yeah, it has nothing to do with like, dislike. She loves you, but she's just so focused. Yeah.
Okay.
It would be,
Thank you.
yeah, it would be like if I'm working on my practice, or let's say I'm working on my music, and then someone I love knocks at the door, and then I'm happy to see them, but I know I have to keep focusing on my music because they're not practicing music, they're practicing something else just as beautiful and valuable, but I need to focus on the music. It's just that kind of thing.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, Laurie.
Yes.
Thank you again, Shefali.
Thank you, Linda. Awesome. We're going to go to Paula. Paula, you want to unmute?
Thanks, Shefali. Hi, Laurie. So
Hi.
I have a question. I have all my granddogs are here, but my
Okay.
Josebini, my little Josebini, I'm going to show you, she is aged and I have her on pain meds. And my question is there a person who's not ready yet for her to go? Is that why she's staying? Is there a reason for her continuing that I should be aware of?
Okay, well, let me get some background first. How old is she?
14.
Okay, and so who are the people? There are.
She's my grandbaby dog. So my son and his wife are who adopted her from a rescue and have had her since she was a puppy. I thought a couple times she was ready to transition, and it just feels like something's holding her back.
Right.
And
Actually, honestly, she's helping you.
okay.
And she's helping you with some old grief that still needs to rinse through. You might have felt it and experienced it, but it hasn't finished rinsing through the cells, and she's helping you right now.
Thank you. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Good. Awesome. Thank you, Paula. Tina, you want to unmute?
Hello. Thanks for calling me. I'm
Hi.
with my kitty cat Zoe. Just wondering if there's anything that she's been with me for 10 years now. I rescued her at 2 weeks old. I call her the princess, but she can be pretty evil at times too. But not to me so much. But she's been growling and having some issues lately, and I don't know if there's any. I put music on for her, and that usually calms her down, but I don't know what else to do for her.
Okay. The music is great. She's very content. She's okay with her growls.
I thought so. I thought maybe it was just her. Okay.
They're just expressions, and you can
Yeah.
relate. We all have growls, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you might both be growling at times, but yours are quiet. But it's okay. We all do. And but let me see if there's anything else she needs. Just a minute. Just it's like she's inviting you to when you're feeling upset about something, which we're all feeling upset about things. That's life. That's part of what we're feeling. We might be feeling really happy and really upset and 20 other things coming and going. She's like, focus your heart on her, because your heart's wanting to go through an even bigger opening. It's a bigger opening. And when our heart opens, you already have a big heart. You have a big heart. When you have a big heart, hurts come in life. That's how life goes. And so the more the years go on, the more hurts we've had. So your heart wants to open to a bigger state of unconditional light. It's light that I see there. And that feels very vulnerable, and that can bring up any old emotions that haven't rippled away yet. And so it's scary to do that, and it can take you into states more like of the oneness and the unconditional. You're being invited to go to your next spiritual experience, resonance, awakening. And so that's the invitation. Sometimes when there's some grumbling or growling, it's kind of like the energy is going into that, because it's not going into the bigger awakening that's being personally called forward to you by this being, by God, Goddess, the universe, with this messenger being, with this helper being. And it would make this one so happy for you to just open more deeply than ever. You cannot do it through thinking. You're going to have to go right through your beautiful heart that's already so beautiful and big. Does this make sense?
Extreme sense.
Okay.
The other day I was crying. I mean, she's been my support. I lost my partner 3 years ago or whatever. Well, he's on the other side. I didn't lose him, but she's the other day I was crying, I was deep, and she came from nowhere and just rubbed it all against and she's not that affectionate, but she is with me when I'm wondering if she was trying to help me shift with, and not necessarily me helping her like I think I am. She's trying to help me.
She is, and you're working in tandem. Now, there's some things we do individually and some things we do in tandem with other animals and other people, just the way we are. We do both. So as you shift, because you're doing this in tandem and you each have a different role in it, and she's so devoted to you and herself, it's going to release her to shift more, because she can relax, because now, she knows that she could just do that herself, but that's not the deal that you two contracted for, and that won't please her. She's wanting you to come along, and she will then relax. It's easy for her. She will relax into this next place of light and openness that the two of you will go to together.
Yeah, she doesn't really leave my side. I mean, she does, but she doesn't. And I'll go in it, and she's always wondering where I'm at. I notice even when she's hiding, she's still hearing and knows exactly where I am. So yeah.
Yeah.
She's growling. She just growled a little bit right now. She's going,
yeah.
So yeah, when I talk about her, she gets so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tina.
Yeah, we will learn in about 200 years, people will finally understand. Hold on. It's happening in little places. Some people are understanding it, and it'll become more of a regular understanding. People are talking about their sovereignty all the time. In some ways, we need our encapsulation of our individual self-evolution, but in other ways, we need the group. We each have different energetic roles and personality roles, and you don't get to choose yours, and they work best when they are shared in a congruent group. The animals understand this, and that's how they work in family. Humans are quite confused about this, but that's okay. We're babies and we're learning.
Yeah, it's okay. Cindy, you want to unmute?
Hi, Shefali. Hi, Laurie.
Hi, one thing. I wasn't talking the beautiful hearted woman I just talked to. I didn't mean she was confused. I just mean the human race in general. Okay.
Yeah. No worries. I think we got that. Good.
I
Hi,
didn't
Cindy.
think you were talking about me. Thank you.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes. Hi, Cindy.
Hi. So I have a dog that I just love so much. I've had him, we adopted him 7 years ago. He was an adult Chihuahua when we adopted him. And I just can't seem to get him potty trained. No matter what I do, we'll go outside, he'll urinate outside, then I bring him in. He likes to pee on furniture. And I've scolded him, I've told him not to. I try to talk to him with compassion, asking him not to pee on furniture in the house. I'm just wondering what kind of message he might have as to why he does this.
What's his name, Cindy?
His name's Cisco.
Cisco. It's an anxiety situation and it's out of control inside him. He doesn't understand where that anxiety came from in his DNA. And it's an anxiety response. It's very biological. There's a very, there's a stronghold on his biology. It's affecting. So this response comes up and wait, when you got him, how old was he?
He was a rescue, so they didn't know exactly, but I've had him close to 7 years, and my guess is he was probably 2 to 3 years old when we got him.
Yeah.
I don't know
it's-
how old he is exactly.
Okay, so it's a combination because the DNA has a strong hold on anxiety that got created by things that happened that he was loved before you, but something happened. Yeah, I probably can't go into the whole story right now. I'd have to go into a lot of different things, but in some, it is an anxiety response that he doesn't know how to control. And so sitting with him with the anxiety and telling him, okay, right now what I'm doing is I'm sitting with the anxiety with him. So some of it can be released. Things to soothe and calm, but it's like old trauma that never didn't know what to do. And so it gets programmed in with people and animals all the time. These things happen, you know, people have other habits usually, but some have this habit. Children can have this not being able to control urine in the right place. Anyway, that's what it is. And so what's needed is a way this anxiety can be released. So sitting with saying, I really understand, I can feel this. Let's see if we can let this anxiety out of the body so you can feel safe handling this in another way. Then the behavior part with training dogs is they are very biologically wired. And so then you would need someone also who knows how to kindly address something like that, as well as doing this more emotional, energetic kind of work I'm talking about. And musics that soothe would also be very helpful to be part of the approach.
Do you think sound bowls would help take some of his anxiety, or what type of songs or music, sound bowls, what do you think might help him best at releasing anxiety?
I would experiment with different musics and to find his response. Like what you said, or he does like joyful, upbeat, kind of playful instrumental. There could be some mellow things too, musics that help people go into meditations, both, and just experimenting and noting his reaction.
That makes perfect sense. And
Yeah.
does he have any message that he would want, that he needs from me to help him feel more relaxed or de-stress?
Yes, that he has old fear from before you knew him. And also he has, if you have fears or concerns yourself, to work with those with yourself too, that there's some release for both of you around some anxiety. Everyone feels anxiety. This is very common. This is very normal. He doesn't want to displease you. And if he thinks he displeased you, it makes him feel scared. He feels sad. Remember, he's coming from a background before he got to you too. But if you feel, when you feel upset or kind of cross with him about his behavior, which of course I understand, then he feels a little more confused or scared because he's confused by himself too. So your problem is his problem too. So if you feel like you're in it together to solve it, and believe me, I understand how aggravating it would be if pee is going all over the furniture, of course. But he feels confused and out of control. When he's doing it, it doesn't look like it's out of control. It looks like he's choosing it, but it's a deeper out of control. So he needs a lot of compassion and not any aggravation towards him, because that's just on top of other non-healed stuff that came with him when you met him.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think if we made a session with you, you could go in further to maybe help him more release the stress that he has
I could
and
do that.
anxiety?
Yes, I could do that part of it for sure. And I would also look into like a behaviorist who is familiar with hands-on, kind, loving work with dog body behavior. But I would approach it from both angles. But I can absolutely help with relieving stress. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your feedback and advice. Thank you. Many blessings.
Many blessings to you too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to go to Orly. You want to unmute? Yes, no, maybe so. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, Orly. We're going to go to Asha. Asha, you want to unmute?
Well, while we're waiting, I wanted to say about Cindy's situation that yes, if I
Sorry. This is Orally. I'm so sorry. It took me forever trying to figure out how to unmute this Zoom call. But I'll wait for you till you're done. Sorry.
that I will be able, because I'm getting more now, to talk about what actually happened before you two met with another person that has caused like a long-term anxiety fear response. I'm getting yeah, so we can't talk about that. Okay, hi Orly.
Hi. Sorry. I'm not good with Zoom, and I was like pressing all these like things on the screen trying to like unmute it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like starting to sweat. I couldn't figure it out. But hi everyone.
Worries.
So I joined a little late, but I when I seen the topic, I was like, yes, this I have to be here. So I just have a question. I have 2 questions. One for my dog. His name is Tobias. He is 2 years old. Make a long story short, I did French Bulldog breeding. He's a French Bulldog, and he was part of the second litter. And that second litter, he was the only one that survived out of 6 puppies. I did some healing with him. However, I still feel that he has a lot of anxiety, separation anxiety. I feel like he's still there's some things that is very still not resolved.
Yeah.
And I would like to know how to help him. Like I can't get in contact with my other healer person so I'm just like, so when I seen this, I was like, oh my God, the universe is like, yes. So
Yes.
but that's my one question. How can I help him?
Yes, and his name is Tobias.
Yes.
Okay, so Tobias, yes, has severe separation anxiety. So this is a long-term project. It's not a short-term project. So it requires immense patience with first making peace with it is okay that this reality is happening. This reality of deep pain, of grief, of separation, pain this is part of what's happening. It's not going away overnight. So sitting in love with it, love with that experience, love with Tobias, making it normal. This is okay. These things happen on Earth all the time now. So many people and animals have deep, deep pain. So making it okay to sit with the pain. If that takes months, it takes months. If it takes longer, it takes longer. Then on top of it, the other problem is there's a kind of, it's like an attention, it's not attention deficit disorder, it's something else. It's attention, there's something going on in the brain. So it makes it jumpy, it makes it hard to focus. This is happening to animals and people sometimes because of, there's so many elements now. There's all the Wi-Fi in the air, and there's chemicals and shots and vaccinations. There's all kinds of things. I'm not making anything wrong. This is the reality we have to deal with. So this needs some cleansing, like some heavy metal cleansing and vaccine cleansing. So that would be, you would have to research or talk to vet about a natural vet, about what kind of herbs can gently help or supplements with something like that too. And yeah, because Tobias needs to be settled down. There's just too much causing this like jumpy awareness. Like we were talking about nature, and
Oh, he loves nature.
like nature is really helpful, whereas computers are not. Computers and phones and TVs or any of that kind of stuff, like, is not. Anything that brings kind of a settling, like if maybe a magnet mat or something designed, a vibration, like when someone's doing yoga in the same room, anything that settles down the body so the brain can settle down is also needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has a lot. I was told he has a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
And I know, like, because it's been cold, I haven't taken him outside, so I know his brain is probably a little like overwhelmed right now because he loves the outside. He's a dog that has to be outside. Like, whereas my other ones are like, whatever.
Yeah.
So my other question is for a different dog. His name is Artis. He's a newer addition to the family. He's 1 year old. When he came in, I know I never got a reading on him. So I'm not even sure if he's happy. I'm not sure if he likes us. I'm not sure about anything besides that he is aggressive towards Tobias, but I know partially that's because he still has his testicles. So he's not neutered, so I know that could be part of it as well. But I don't know if the dude is even happy. Like, I don't even know if he even wants to even be in a household with a bunch of dogs, or if he wants to be by himself.
He's here to bring in such a brightness, and he doesn't know his place in this situation. He doesn't know where he belongs, or it's really hard, difficult. He just feels he doesn't know what he's doing there. Who's going to be really caring for him and who doesn't like him, and he's uncomfortable with himself. He can't quite figure out who he is. There's so much going on around him. Just a minute, let me ask him a question. He needs like quiet and not lots of other people and animals around. It's just too much. He's really overwhelmed.
Okay. The only way that could happen is if I was to rehouse him, but I really don't want to rehouse him.
Okay, so if he's going to stay there, he needs a lot of focused attention. He needs a way that he can have time where he's separate from the group. He just has human tension separate from the group. He's just so overwhelmed.
I could feel that. I could feel, and because I felt it. I felt something was off, and I wasn't sure. And every time I look in his eyes, I'm like, I don't know what it is. I'm like, I love you so much, but I'm not feeling. I'm feeling off, and that probably I'm probably feeling the overwhelm because I mean, he just only hangs out with Tobias. He doesn't hang out with the other two dogs. The other two dogs are separated. And I know Tobias is also male, so I don't know if that was like an attention thing. I did have training for him because of the aggression, which worked, but and I feel like he has come around a lot more than when I first got him.
Oh, great.
So,
Oh,
and I do see a difference. So I'm sorry. I know you got to ask other people questions. So sorry to cut you off. Answer other questions. So I do see the difference, because I will tell you at first, he was not liked as much. And because he was so aggressive, he was biting everybody, he was hurting everybody. So everybody in the house did kind of like have a sour tongue for a little bit. But then once training started, he started calming down. Everybody's like been loving like giving him so much love, like taking him separate into their rooms, giving him so much love. So I did notice a slight difference, but I do feel like you said, he's probably still very much still overwhelmed.
yeah. And he just hasn't found his natural cohesion. There's just a lot of influence, and there's anxieties and Wi-Fi energies that are too much too. Like everyone in this family, well, he and the other one I talked to both need nature. Those two. Yeah.
Okay.
If
All right.
he doesn't grab nature or like get excited, he still needs to be on the earth.
Yeah, that I understand.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you have other responses. I'll just look into like getting a session or something, because I feel like I do want to talk about this a little bit further, especially on how I could assist them both,
Yeah.
and then even the other two dogs in the house, because I would just want it to be like cohesive. I just want them all to feel good, because I could definitely feel when they're not feeling good, and it's like it makes me sad, because it's like, oh my God, what can I don't know what to do to help. And I don't want to feel like I don't want to rehouse him, like I said, because then I will feel like he would really feel like he's not wanted, and it's not true, because we want him. We just don't want to get hurt by him. So
Yeah, I understand. You're very caring and loving, and you're giving so much to all of them, and it's beautiful. Yeah, I feel, I get what you're saying. I know you really want to give the best. I hear that. Yeah. So yes, we can go into it more in a private session.
all right. Well, thank you so much for your assistance. I will talk to you soon. I'm just gonna put you on mute because I'm at work. So
Okay.
all right.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shefali.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna go to Asha, and Asha may not be able to talk because she is at work as well. So she did put her question in the chat. Laurie, can you see it?
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it.
So her dog's name is Jax. He has 2 health issues that she's aware of, plus sometimes anxiety. Is there anything that you would recommend that I could do to help him recover or function as best as possible from the health conditions and the anxiety?
Okay, let's see. His name is Jax. How old is Jax?
I want to say 10.
Okay, and
From what I know, I think around 10.
Anxiety. I think I need to go into this in a private session. This is starting to go towards like, I feel like I'm going to be talking for half an hour, and that's not really what I should be doing right now. Yeah, and it's a great question. But I think I need to do it as a private session. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. She said also, does he have any messages that he wants me to know to help him? I want him to know I love him very much and will do what I can so he has a comfortable life as long as he is with me. Yeah.
I hear that. I'm going to have to send this to private session. It was a great question. I'm not going to be able to get into this right now. Yeah. And I think the questions are really kind of going towards, usually I do general questions on the air, and I'm kind of doing a lot of private sessions right now. So I think if you have some, let's just end here. Okay. That's plenty of private sessions. Yeah. Okay. Is that?
Yeah, awesome. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just have one more person with their hand raised, and that is Jill. So Jill, you want to unmute?
Hi, everybody.
Let's just see what she has. Hi.
Hi. So I wanted to tell you something which is fun. So I got on the call at 3:15, and my cat, who usually is just laying on the couch, has been playing and running around ever since I got on this. That's a big compliment to you, Laurie. I think she loves your energy, and I'll have to use you when I have a question. But I really just wanted to tell you that it's really out of character for her to be so lively. But if I could just say, like, I have a kitten and I have her, and I heard through a psychic that she wanted me to get her a baby girl when my other cat died. And I did, but she spits at her sometimes. So they're currently playing, and I wish it was like this all the time. But I'm wondering why is she still teaching her, or
What is the problem that you said they're playing now, but she bites her? Is that what you
no,
said?
she just hisses at her sometimes when the kitten wants to play.
Yeah,
Or
it's
they-
yeah, hissing isn't really that bad in the cat family. It's just like if you say to your friend, "Hey, I'm busy right now," but it's just a strong boundary. "Hey, I'm busy." They don't take it the same way we do. The other cat might be like disappointed, but it's really just a boundary. And so let me ask her just about happiness and playfulness. She loves happiness and playfulness, and so the more happy and playful you get, the more she'll get. Yeah, but
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, when I play with them, they're ecstatic. However, I do have to work, I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, you work at you go to work.
Me sitting right here at this desk is exactly where I work, and they bug me all the time.
Can you bring in that's very cat-like. Can you bring in playfulness while you're working, just the energy into yourself?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yeah, but the little baby is just like crying all the time. Like, come up. It's like I stand up, the crying stops. It's just they think I'm a cat, and that
Yeah.
I'd be playing with them too all the time.
Yeah, if you want to do a private session, we can talk more in depth and figure out how to get the energy in another groove to help with the situation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, I certainly will be using you at some point since she likes you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. And yes, they just want to play, and that's the thing with Neo too. Sometimes he just wants to play, even when it's like not an appropriate time. It's like, Neo, I can't play right now. I'm doing a live show, right? So then he has to like wait. But yeah, sometimes that's all. They just want to play. They just want attention. So Asha, we did answer your question, kind of. Laurie suggested that you have a private session with her because it's the health issue, the anxiety, etc. Just if you can book a session with her instead, that'd be great. Okay.
I can do that. Thank you, Laurie. I'll listen to the replay. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Asha. Okay, so I just want to take a moment before we go further and just talk about the packages, as we have suggested to a few people to do a session with Laurie, like Cindy and Asha and Jill, and there's somebody else orally. Where's my thing? See, so you should be able to see my screen. I think it should be good. So Laurie has 3 packages, and they're for both personal, like human or animal session. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 50 minutes. So Laurie, do you want to just explain a little bit about how these sessions work?
Yes, when I'm doing a session, I'm answering your questions. I'm helping facilitate healing with you and the animal together. So after we finish, you can continue working with that. You've seen what I do here, but I can go into a deeper healing facilitation, more complicated answers. That's it.
Awesome. So basically, whatever help you need, she can help you with, whether it's personal or like human. I would say personal, but human or animal, right? And sometimes they are deeply connected and intertwined as well. Okay. So a lot of times when we're going through stuff, our pet is also going through something, and they are helping us to evolve and helping us to cope, etc. So there's 3 packages available, A, B, and C. There's a payment plan available for each one, and if you're an Inner Circle member, please do use your gift code. I will put the link to the special offer page in the in the chat, just so that you have it. But of course, as you all know, the links are always available in the email, and of course on YouTube, etc. when we send out the recordings, right? So I'm just going to put that there for those who would like that, just to make it easy for you. And so Laurie, when it comes to our pets evolving as we are evolving and helping us to evolve as we are helping them to evolve at the same time, what can we do to make our ascension, descension, whatever you want to call it, more ease-filled, make it a little bit smoother?
Well, anxiety has come up a lot, and the world's in an anxiety state right now. It just is. It's the norm. Trauma, complex trauma, complicated trauma. These are the norms for everyone. It's just the norm. So our animals are feeling it just like us. So we need to create environments that are full of intention. What is our intention for environment? Is it peace? Is it playfulness? Is it joy? Or is it anxiety? You know, is it, so we need to take care of ourselves in a way that we are emanating more peace and joy, so the animals feel more comfortable, because we're all picking up from each other. So we need the most simple things. We need to be out in nature. We need to prioritize laughter. We need to prioritize getting our feet out on Mother Earth. We need to prioritize, I'm talking about for ourselves and for our animals, breathing fresh air. We need to prioritize eating properly. We need to prioritize ways to get sound and movement going in our bodies so we're cathartic. All this about anxiety and depression, it's like move your body, sing, vocalize. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. Get sounds out, get stretches happening, get aerobics going. Like the body is meant for movement and vocalization. The animals are always moving and vocalizing. They need to do it outside. We need to do that. Then this whole concept about anxiety and depression, and then there's medication to stop it, and then there's more of it. It's bottled up until then we have more problems in the world. We need, as a human race, to go back to simplicity. Again, we need Mother Earth under our feet. We need to breathe fresh air. We need to move and vocalize. We need to eat the right foods, and we need to give all this to our animals. And then we need to love all of it. We need to stop making it wrong. So, oh, someone's having a major complicated depression. It's an animal. Oh, actually, now that when I'm honest with myself, it's me too. We're both in it. Okay. What do we need to do? Okay, we need to first love ourselves. Oh, this is normal. This is actually not a problem. It's been happening since the beginning of time. But in caveman days, you just go like, oh, or something, right? Now it's a big deal. Call the psychiatrist. I mean, I am a therapist, right? I deal with this all day long and everyone. So it needs to be loved. The world is so complicated that animals and people were full of anxieties and depressions and this and that. Okay, let's love it. Let's start by just sitting with it. Let's be with it. Let's feel it for ourselves. Let's feel it in our animals. Let's make it okay until it starts to dissolve and dissipate, because we're spending enough time in nature, because we're moving our voices and our bodies. And then we have options. There's space. Oh, what do I want to do with my space? I can be in playfulness. I can be in movement. I can be in joy. I can be in laughter. It's all a process. It's not a mental thing. It's a process. And so when I'm helping people long-term, long-term could be a few months. For some people, it could be a few years. For some people, it could be forever. But when I'm helping people, not just dropping by, we're working on all this. So a new rhythm, a new energy field is established. And then we are helping our animals naturally. Because no matter what soul contracts and agreements we make with anyone, if we're in the same environment is as strong as intention. And so everyone is affecting everyone. So as we learn to love each other, express, we shift, we change, we help our animals.
Right. And so it's about helping ourselves at the same time as helping our animals, but it's about living life, right? So continue to live life, enjoy your life, do what lights you up, but be more conscious of your choices, right? Be more intentional with your choices so that you are eating the better food, getting the fresh air, doing the movement, bringing in the energies, resting, meditating, whatever happens to be, and bringing joy, above all, right? And that, when you look at when I look at Neo, he's just the embodiment of joy. When he is wanting to play, he's just like the embodiment of joy. He just gets so, uh, like that's the only thing he just wants to play, and he's like so intent on it, and he makes sure that we all play with him, right? So it's like he will sit there in front of us and have the ball there, and he's like, he wants you to play with him. So it's great because he gets us out of our routine, right? Out of what we're thinking in that moment and what we're doing, and to be in that playful energy, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's just for like a few seconds,
Yeah.
just for a few minutes, right?
Yes,
But
even if for a few seconds while I'm working, if my cats are telling me, meow, 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 you need fresh air, I can take the phone and go outside and get the fresh air and keep working. Or if my cats are saying, get up, it's 5 a.m. And first I think, no, I don't want to, I need sleep. Well, as it turned out, I started feeling much
you
more.
don't. Yeah.
5 a.m. They're doing what's healthy usually. And if it's compressed and turned down, sooner or later, as with human children, it becomes something negative. But it's not really negative. It's always just a call to call us back to what's simple and healthy and needed, more than what we think is needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Simple, it is about simplicity for ourselves as well as our pets, right? They don't really want very much, so they're not that complicated. Right? They just want to play, they just want to eat food, they just want to be with us. And go for a walk. That's about it. That's all they want.
Yes, love, joy, what we really want. We're being trained
Exactly.
on all kinds of stuff that's mental, and then it's confusing our bodies. That's all we really want.
Exactly. And they are great at showing us when they need love, they let us know. And that love expresses as play, or sometimes as a walk, or sometimes I need food. They're just cuddling, just sitting with us and not doing anything, just sitting in the same spot as us, and they're comfortable, right? So they're so easy. They're so easy. So life can be easy, and I think that's what that's what they're also showing us, that life can be easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple if we allow ourselves to just be in our heart space and allow ourselves to just be and go with the flow and go with the rhythm and be in sync with Mother Nature. Everything can be much more simple.
Yes. And even if I think I'm really busy because there's a lot of things that need to happen in a day, I can be busy playfully, like my cats. I can be busy joyfully. I can get in the car and go where I need to go in a state of music or laughter. We're just conditioned to be in all these. We make the whole thing up, the big drama, and I do it as much as everyone else. Believe me, I know all about it. But we're in these states. Oh, this happened, and I'm in anxiety, and that happened, I'm in grief. And are you sure if that's the truth? Cathartic, and then what's the option? Love all of it. Oh, I'm doing that. Great. I love you, Lord. Oh, I love you. You're being in anxiety. What's anxiety? Oh, it's energy. What does it feel like? It feels like this. Now it's playfulness. That's what the animals are doing all the time.
Right. Yeah. Wow. It's so interesting. If we just watch them a little bit, we will start to understand more.
Yeah. Who's calling?
I love it.
Who's calling who back to wholeness? The animals are calling us back to wholeness.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great message. The animals are calling us back to wholeness. I love that. Yeah, thank you. Anything else you want to share with us before we go, Laurie? This was brilliant. So helpful.
Thank you to this beautiful audience, so full of care and love and kindness and love for your animals. I feel very honored and blessed to be among you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for all your questions. And yes, like Laurie said, it's just so wonderful to see how loving and caring you all are. It just warms my heart. So thank you. We will have the recordings out in a little while, so please do go back and watch and listen to receive all the wisdom again. And again, wow, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place for another call. So please do join us then. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Please do go ahead and book a session with Laurie so that you can get more support and answers and guidance for you and your pets. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon, evening. Bye for now.